Venom stars Tom Hardy in the lead role as the famous anti-hero Eddie Brock, who...
Jordan.
Hello? Anyway, stars Tom Hardy as the...
It is I, Jordan.
Okay. Hello?
Okay, well, if you don't want to call me Jordan, you can call me Venom.
Okay, am I crazy?
Did you like my movie?
Okay. Is this supposed to be some sort of humorous intro for this shitty movie?
Don't you want to give me a good review?
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, well, have you seen the movie?
Please give it a good review, please.
Well, then you'll know that is not gonna happen at all. I don't care. What are you gonna do about it?
I'll make you die.
You have control over me?
I have full control.
I say the movie sucks. What are you gonna do about it?
You will choke yourself.
Choke myself? Why would I
Die!
Venom stars Tom Hardy, Michelle Williams, Riz Ahmed, and I believe that's it. It is the story of Eddie Brock. He is a reporter. He works for some mediocre paper, and he's apparently a good street reporter, and he investigates Riz Ahmed's character, who works for some big tech, Elon Musk-y kind of space tech company or something. And then he gets fired and Michelle Williams dumps him, and then he accidentally stumbles upon a symbiote from space which infects him with venom goop, and then he becomes Venom. Sorry to break it to your Venom fans out there, I'm not going to be kind to this one. This movie is a complete and utter mess. The problems that this movie has is, for one, the writing is incredibly sloppy and all over the place. This movie, while you're watching it, it constantly is not able to decide what it wants to be. Very few pauses that this movie has is when he is actually fused with Venom and he's, starting to understand this relationship between the symbiote that controls him and how they can lead to some kind of darkly humorous stuff. That stuff in the movie worked for me. The stuff in the movie worked for me, and there should have been more of that. More focus on him actually bonding with it and building the relationship between the two of them. But we don't see a relationship being hardly built. In fact, it kind of baffles me how quickly he's able to accept that, yeah, I got this parasite in me that's from another world that's able to talk to me and is fully intelligent and can, bite people's heads off without me apparently feeling any of the digestion effects from swallowing a human head. There's a lot of stuff like that doesn't really make a ton of sense, and it's gonna not make a lot of sense even to the casual moviegoer. I don't care how hardcore of a comic book fan you are. There's a lot of stuff like that in this movie that is very, very slapped together and really, really shit. Tom Hardy was weird in this movie. I don't know if he thought he was in a different movie. Tom Hardy in this movie is unsure, I think, of the direction and tone, because his performance is constantly shifting between, he's supposed to be serious, but he's supposed to be kind of a sarcastic, likable dickhead who's a loser. I don't really know. I didn't really believe any of it, especially his relationship with Michelle Williams, who I can't even tell you what her name was. It really kind of doesn't even matter. I'm even actually surprised that they got Michelle Williams to even do this movie. They must have offered her a good paycheck, because I don't see why she did this movie. She's better than this material, and she really hardly did anything to really help elevate the material in this, so sorry, but you could have been better. The action of Venom, there's some moments where it could have been okay, but you could definitely tell that this movie has been neutered down, and it probably should have just been originally R-rated. It was not. This movie is a PG-13 movie, and that's fine, I guess, for the mass audiences and getting more asses in the seats, but for a movie like this, I think people were hoping, myself included, to have it be more of a dark, horror, kind of gritty, slimy, gross feel to it, I guess, with like dark comedy and violence in it. I think that would have been the approach to go with this character, and it's not like the audience isn't out there. Like, you know, you go to Deadpool, Logan, any of the Marvel movies, and sure, not all of them are rated R, but the comic book audience in America and the world continues to grow and grow in volume. So whether or not you're going to make it dark or not, I feel like that's kind of, it's not even the point. It's going to make its money. So I'm not sure if the reason to tone this down was studio interference or them being just like not wanting to take as big of a risk with this property and thinking that it wouldn't deliver as much as like say a Deadpool. But yeah, they massively messed up here by not having this movie be rated R. There's scenes in this movie where Venom is supposed to be biting people's heads off. That would have been amazing to see him like bite someone's head off and like swallow it and like have blood all over the place. I mean, this is a dark character, and having him be an anti-hero in this movie, I don't even think that really works. I think it would have been much bolder and ballsier if they had developed this character as being solely a villain. Sure, having Eddie Brock maybe start out as a kind of so-so guy, but then once Venom consumes him, just have him be a monstrous villain and have he himself be the villain of his own movie, because that in and of itself would have been a much more interesting character study of Venom and Eddie Brock, and it would have led to further movies where you could then develop him into being an anti-hero and maybe not as evil as he would be in the first one. Gotta talk about the actual villain of this movie. There's another symbiote that's name is Riot that has all of about 2 minutes of development of, hey, there's another symbiote and his name's Riot for some reason, and he's the leader of our big blob of poop in containers, and he wants to go back to Poop World of all the squimy poop and bring it to Earth to have everybody be a planet of Venom. So that's that. Once Riot sort of takes over Riz Ahmed's evil like CEO character, I mean, aside from like the skin tone of the character being like a lighter gray, the character didn't really seem all that different from Venom. And then when they fight, it's like a old, worn-out turd that's like been in the sunlight too long fighting a new, glistening, shiny turd being Venom, and they're just... I'm not even gonna waste more time talking about this movie. I already wasted like over $10 to go see this thing, and that alone was too much of a price to pay. My final thoughts on Venom: I think that if you're a fan of the comic book, you're gonna be disappointed. Even if you are a fan of Tom Hardy and you really like his work, he's gonna let you down in this movie, sad to say. The writing is very sloppy and terrible. The performances are misdirected and don't know what they're trying to achieve. And the action, while it has some moments where you occasionally might think it's going to be okay, it usually falls flat and is shaky cam to death and feels very conventional for a movie that should feel unconventional. I'm going to give Venom a 3 out of 10. There are a little bit of redeeming qualities for this movie, being that sometimes the effects were okay, and a little bit of the back and forth between the symbiote and Tom Hardy was okay, but there's so much bad in this movie that it outweighs any of the good. That's all I gotta say about it. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see ya.